Alright. So first thing I would advise is just be careful leaving the shield up, right? Shields are supposed to augment cover, they're not supposed to replace it, right? So if you're spending a lot of effort just like, you're spending a lot of effort like maintaining the shield, and it's taking free poke, and you're not really getting a whole lot out of it, it's just not very good, right? So if you look, no one else is like really getting aggressive on other parts of the map, and so as a result, like you're sort of just shielding nothing, right? Like if you just look, what are the odds these people do a lot of damage to your team over here and kill someone? Pretty unlikely, right? And you want to wait until there's moments where that's actually going to happen before you shield, or to block cooldowns coming in. So like if this like, there's no Ana, but like an Ana was standing here and they threw a nade at you, right? Then you put the shield up, right? But for the most part, you can kind of just sit here and throw shots, and you're not really scared about taking damage, right? Like if you look, like you have a Ana and you have a BAP, and they don't really have anything else to shoot at anyways, right? Like it's okay to take a little bit of damage, right? With Zen Break, it's a little different, but generally speaking, like in those matchups, again, you're not. It's like a Tracer and an Echo. You're not going to take a whole lot of damage anyways. So, again, you're not afraid of taking a little bit of damage. In this case, they actually have almost no damage to throw at you, so don't waste your shield. Right? That's 100 shield that blocked a fire strike, which isn't even great. So, yeah, there you are. Right, now you're giving this Zarya a free beam, right? So like this Ryan's doing the exact same thing. This is why he has to back up, is he wasted a lot of shield blocking stuff he didn't have to block, and now he has to back up even though like his healers have nothing else to do except heal him now. Because he can't like balance the damage he's taking off his HP and his shield. Like he's not because he can't balance the two. He's taking a lot of unnecessary damage. It's fine. Again, like I don't think you drop the shield this entire fight, right? And eventually it just breaks, right? Now it's like, oh, this is Zarya in my face. I can't use shift. I really need shield right now. But your shield is 100% gone. And again, it didn't really block a lot of useful damage. Now you're getting hacked, you can't shift even if you wanted to, and you're dead, right? So this was very preventable if you just saved your shield, right? If you saved your shield, right, you hear a Sombra behind you, you just like walk through the shield, right? And like, just like, you know, use the shield as a shield. But as like an LOS breaker so that she can't hack you, right? Because you wasted all your shield HP, you just left yourself without any options.
Breakthrough was near.
Just in general, you want to get in the habit of like taking down your shield a lot. That style got nerfed like a lot in terms of like just being more active with your shield, but it's still something you want to get used to because it's still really important that you don't just leave your shield up and forget about it. Because it's you actively don't want to take damage on your shield. You only want to take it at core moments, right? So like, for example, if you were to peek here, instead of throwing at your shield and peeking, right, you would like instead peek, shoot, right, and then you duck by the corner, and when you peek again, if they're looking at you now, right. You might consider shielding, but you still just shoot until like they actively start hitting you, right? So if you peek around the corner, you see a Widow staring you down, right? Then you shield and then you shoot, right? But in a situation where she's not looking at you, right? You peek the corner, right? You just shoot, right? And then look back, and you actively don't want to put your shield up. It's really important that like you don't like mess up your shield placement or timing, because now it's very punishing if you mess that shield up. Because like again, like you don't want to leave the shield up, but if you pull it down, it's a 2.5 second cooldown, right? So want to be active with the shield, but if you make a mistake, that's again, that's like 2.5 seconds before you can actively use the shield again. So you don't want to use your shield except at moments when you're fairly sure you actually do need it, because those are the moments when you will need it. And if you mess up and you put up when you don't need it, taking you down, it can be exploited pretty heavily. So keep in mind. Right. So like right here, like as soon as you put the shield up, right, you want to consider taking it down again, right? So you walk out. First of all, you're focused on the wrong thing. I'm not sure why you're looking at where the Rhine is. Like, this is what matters. You know there's people on cart, you know they're going to shoot you here. So you want to stay focused on, like, what can actually shoot you right here. So, look, you take, like, 20 damage from a Zarya, right? You're literally not scared at all, right? It's just a Zarya and it's just a BAP, and the BAP's not even trying to shoot you. He's scared, right? But you put your shield up, right? And again, it's not even blocking for the Ana. It's not doing anything useful, right? And then the Ana's going to run behind your shield, and now your shield's going to take all the damage, even though, like, again, like, none of you should be really scared about the Zarya's damage. She has no charge, right? If we just look, she probably has, like, 20 charge. 11. Half that. She has no damage, right? Like, why are we scared? But you shield it, right? Like, that's all the damage she got before she jumped around the corner, too, right? And now we're taking unnecessary shield damage, right? So now we're down 100 shield that we didn't have to be, right? And, like, again, instead of taking down our shield and just, like, walking forward, right, and playing the corner, right, and mitigate damage that way, right, we're leaving the shield up and we're spamming behind the shield when we don't have to, right? So not only is this, like, we're taking unnecessary damage potentially, but, like, on a shield, but we're also not taking advantage of free space because we feel obligated to use our shield. So it's like errors compounding on top of errors. Alright, I guess the shield's not taking any damage, but again, like, if it's not going to take any damage, why are you shielding, right? At that point, like, the shield is just a waste of resources. Or like instead of like putting your shield on cooldown faster, right? Now like, again, no one's shooting your shield. You're not using your shield. No one's even looking to exploit your shield, right? Then take it down so you can redeploy your shield as fast as you can, right? The shield's too far forward. Probably had to use a your suck in there. I know you didn't like feel confident, but you had someone else in the grab with you, so like you might be able to save them with the suck. And also, while you're doing that, you need to pull down your shield. It's not you, because you can pull down your shield during any kind of motion, right? So when you're sucking, you can pull down the shield. When you're rocking, I believe you can also pull down the shield, but that's generally not something you want to do. I'm not sure if you can do that while you're grabbing, or not grabbing, flexing. But the concept is still the same, right? If you're sucking, right, it's already damage mitigation. You don't need the second damage mitigation. In fact, they actively interfere with each other. So whenever you shift, make sure you get in the habit of pressing right click right afterward. Right after you press shift, right, in case it's still up. Because you can't deploy the shield while doing it, so, you know. Keep running. No, don't walk this way. Okay, so again, corners, right? You're hacked. You literally have no options, right? You want to back in this direction where you can get where you have a corner, right? This is important for every character, not just squishies. I know it's very easy to be as a tank is like, I make my own cover. I have a shield, right? My hack's about to end, right? But again, you have no way to actually block this hack, right? You have no way to block damage, right? Like, you need to get around the corner, get to safety, right? And then once you have your cooldowns again, right, then you can re-push, right? But like, don't play in the open. Playing the open is bad for everybody, even tanks. You realize this eventually, but you took like 400 unnecessary damage, right? Getting healed the whole time, check the pocket, right? And then because you feel like pressured, right? You don't feel like you have the ability to actually push out again, right? Whereas, for example, if you backed out early, maybe this already overextends in the choke, as opposed to like the timing being now where she overextended, like they're already capping anyways. Force out all her HP and stuff, and then she walks back, and then you walk into the space in time to contest the cart, right? That's not gonna happen now because it's too late. Right? You know that she has no bubble. You could actually just flex her here if like the cart was closer, right? Because you wasted time out here, right? By the time this happens, this is way too late, right? Please back, take high ground. Alright, so this is map fundamentals, right? This space sucks, we don't want to fight over it, right? We'd much rather be up here, right? If you're up here as a Sigma, like this is really hard to deal with, right? Your hog's already going up here, right? Like, put the tanks on top of here and it's like impossible to push. It's not you. Oh, that's not you either. Alright, you're just playing low ground, and you're like inviting the Reinzari to run at you, right? So this is the problem with like in scrims, right? This Reinzari doesn't have a Lucio, and yet you're playing in their range when you don't have to. Like, your range is just much longer than this, right? You can easily shoot the Zarya from here, and you look at the Zarya's beam range, it just clearly does not reach as far as here, right? So you can easily shoot from outside her range. That's not you again. Now you're getting hacked. Get help, right? Oh, please flex this. Never mind. You're about to die. Yeah. But like again, like you just took so much unnecessary damage that by the time you had an opportunity to punish something the Zarya did, right? First of all, you could have rocked her as well. You didn't rock either. Check that, make sure I'm not speaking. Yeah, okay. You had a chance to rock her because her bubble was wearing off, and you didn't rock her. You didn't have enough HP to go for a flex. Like there was a lot of things you could have done that you couldn't do because like you took so much damage out here that you didn't have to take, right? Overwatch is really a game like about taking less damage and doing more damage, right? And like the more ways you find to do that, the better of a player you'll be, right? I know that sounds really simple, especially with things like Ultimate, where like, well, if I never take damage, how am I healer supposed to get ult, right? Like, but like your healers will get ult anyways, right? Like people are going to take damage, but the question is how little damage can you take versus how much damage you can deal, right? Because taking damage is pressure, right? That's things that your healers need to heal, right? And that takes the focus on other things. And in a lot of cases, your healers can just do damage instead, right? Like if an Ana doesn't heal anyone, she can start sniping and like picking up backline or like pressuring enemy DPS, right? And if she has time to shoot the enemy DPS, then that's time the enemy healers have to spend healing their DPS who are like getting shot by the Ana, right? And it's like a vicious cycle where like the less damage overall your team is outputting, the less healing the enemy team has to do, and the more they can focus on like damage abilities, like damage boost, like on playing aggressively with Zen, like on just sniping as Ana, right? The more as damage orbing is more, the less damage that their team takes, the more they can focus on dealing damage themselves, right? Don't path this way, never path this way. You should pretty much always path this way, unless like you need a retake at the last second, right? This way is both faster and puts you on high ground, so there's no reason not to go this way ever. Or not ever, but like almost ever. That should be your default way in like 99% of circumstances.
Let them up.
Luck is okay. No, don't land on the cart. Okay. So again, like you finally got to high ground. You landed on high ground flex. That was really good, right? The next step, just drop here, right? And now you have a crossfire on this guy. You can't. If you get shot by anything, you just put a shield up and ignore it, right? And now you're using shield productively because not the shield is blocking something that's actively interfering with you, right? Then you can now shoot this guy for free and establish crossfire, and then you're trading some shield health for that. That's totally fine, right? But the problem here is like dropped on top of this guy, and now the Ryan can actually fight back with you in a way he likes, right? And you're giving it more or less your crossfire because again, you're not going to hang out here. You're going to back in this direction, right? And now your crossfire is gone, right? You might kill him, but like this is not well executed. Alright, you kill him because he's dumb. He actually didn't back up when he could have. But the point is, like, again, see where you return to? Right where your team is. No more crossfire, right? As opposed to if you were here, right? Crossfire galore, right? Just put the shield up, shoot this way, right? And then as soon as this guy backs up, right? Then you drop the shield, right? And start setting up crossfire over here, right? Put the shield here, shoot this widow. Like, this widow's, like, put so much pressure if you just off-angle better, right? Or you can, like, swing out this direction, right? Control this room, right? Put the shield up, shoot this widow again, right? Just make it really unsafe for them to help the Reinhardt, right? Assuming the Reinhardt didn't die, because like honestly, this crossfire was really nasty if you stayed here. But this pressure is just like pressure you can get from anywhere, right? Except you don't have to be main to do this. In fact, you get better pressure from elsewhere. So please take high ground now. Take high ground, please take high ground. Okay, what's going on here? That's okay. But again, as soon as that Zarya leaves, you gotta book it over here, right? Get up here, get over here, right? And now you're in a reasonable position. You can even get a top of ship if you feel really spicy, right? But top ship is probably not the best for you overall. Like middle ship is probably better for you, Sig. Sig, unless your whole team's up here, right? So like in scrims, right, you'd probably want to be up here, right? But in or even out here, to be honest. Like if you want to play out here, like totally fine as long as you know that like Ryan Zarya aren't up here, right? And they start walking out here. If the Ryan Zarya start walking out here, right? You see the because you can see them for forever, right? Like if you just look down this hallway, you see the whole way, right? So if you're chilling up here and you see the Ryan Zarya coming up, right? Just walk back in, right? Walk over here, climb up top of this box, get on top of the blue thing, right? Or the orange thing, right? And then you can get on top of the ship, right? And now you're in a position where you can't get rushed, you can still spam them, right? And but generally speaking, you should want to play like these high grounds, like this one, not this one, generally. It's not that bad, but it's not really a great retreat pass for you. So like this spot is really strong as Sig. This spot is really strong as Sig because you can rotate around, right? And this spot can be really strong for Sig if you need to defend it for your team, right? And your whole team is playing this spot, right? But generally speaking, these middle high grounds are a little bit better for you, and this is ranked, so you should be playing for an individual sense. But, like you don't want to play here. You want to be here when they start piling out of these doors. Yeah. So this widow just dropped the high ground, right? See this? If she kills someone, this is your fault, right? Because if you're standing here, just shoot her and she can't do anything, right? You win just by default, right? So if she kills someone, this is your fault. Yeah, so right here, she body shot your McCree. Your McCree has to run, right? Your angles are getting pressured. She killed your Tracer who felt obligated to pressure her. When like again, like yeah, like the Tracer probably took this fight relatively poorly, but if you look at it, like it's way higher risk for a Tracer to contest this than for a tank to just sit here, put the shield up, and like this applies to every off tank in the game. Diva, Zarya, Sigma, Roadhog. If you just stand here, this guy can't use his angle anymore. He has to go this way, right? And if you're Sigma, right, you can actually just put the shield up, right? And then you can like, I'm pretty sure you can tag her from the edge from the other side, right? It won't be max damage, but you'll definitely tag her, right? And that'll make her really uncomfortable. It can mess with her aim, right? And then you can potentially just like also swing out and just go kill her, right? As well. But you're putting pressure on her if you just stand here, right? As an off tank. And then if like they try to go underneath you with the team, just shoot them from above, right? And it feels really strong. And if they try to pressure you back, right? You're Sigma, so you have shield. But if you're not Sigma, or even if you run out of shield, you have hard cover, right? A doorway where you can be peeked from your healers that are oftentimes playing in this general area, right? Like back here or over here, right? You get peeked really easily, right? And if you can't get any help from healers, there's a mega underneath you, right? You'll see them each team trying to push them underneath. You can bounce shots just to make sure, right? You can bounce over here, right? And it'll hit them in this doorway. Or you can like swing back across as soon as your shield recharges, right? So mini over here, you can regroup with your team on this side, or you can get aggressive, right? There's so many options if you just play to the high ground. And you just do so much more, but you're just like stuck down here where you can't do anything, right? And then you're like McCree's dying, you're rocking a shield because you don't know what else to do with your cooldowns. The option is he's going to shatter now. Yeah, and then you're stuck with everybody else, and you can't rock him to like deal with his charge, right? So like if you're up here and he charged and you rocked him from high ground, you'd save your team, right? There's a lot of things you can do, but like you're giving your team false confidence by playing with him, pretending that like you have a shield, but like Sigma's shield isn't really like stable or reliable. Even Ryan's shield shouldn't be enough to like convince everyone to play here. These people, a lot of these people are way out of position, right? But so are you, so you don't have an excuse. Oh my god, the Kree lives. Yeah, so again, like because you're here and not over here, where you're actually actively pressuring the Widow, right? The Widow almost killed your McCree, right? The only saving grace right now is that she's really bad. And if you notice as well, I'm like not talking a lot about micro anymore in terms of like your shield management, in terms of like your rock cooldown usage and your shift and whatnot, and like how you shoot. But like because none of that really matters anymore. What really matters is that you're not in a good position to actually use it, right? So it kind of like everything starts from positioning. So if you're not in a good spot at a good time, right, it's very hard to like actually talk about like your micro, right? Like sure, you didn't need to rock that, right? But like it's kind of hard to find a good time to rock otherwise, right? And the answer just comes down to the fact that you shouldn't be there in the first place, right? Like again, like a rock into a shield, into a bubble, and it's like, well, what are you supposed to do now, right? Like you it's not a good rock by any means, but like you also don't have a lot of choices. And this again just comes straight down to positioning. Like you're not on high ground. Like honestly, what carried this fight is your Ana. Your Ana is like popping off really hard right now. In terms of just like the nade usage is really clean so far. The sleeps, right? But like your actual damage output like has been relatively minor, and you also have like missed both of your rocks. Your shield got EMP'd, and you got shattered without your shield, and it got EMP'd afterward, I think. And then like your suck has been a non-factor. So you look at your actual damage, you got 30% of ult once this fight started, right? And like almost none of this is useful. Like so your cooldown's got no value, right? And then your damage also got minimal value here. And it's just kind of like if you're just in a better position. This like I don't want to keep harping on this actually, but like again, if you just like positioning is so important, so important. Get 30% ult. That was your contribution to the fight. Again, you're playing low ground, right? You're not using the time when in transition to like start taking high ground, right? Team's not pushing actively with you for kills, so this is just kind of a waste of time, right? You're building a little bit extra ult, which is okay, but you build more ult if you're just in a better position, right? Like, and you get that just by walking up, right? You walked up here and be like, oh, the Widow's on high ground, right? And then people are complaining about it, you just walk out and you kill her, right? You just walk out and you kill her or force her out, right? You can even do it from here, right? You shield her, right? And then like look in her general direction, start poking her, walk into this room. Now she has to respect it. If she doesn't, you walk out here and kill her, right? But like the point is like you gotta be more active about taking controlling high ground. Your character's like built around this identity. Again, you're wasting shield health. Like again, this isn't even shielding you anymore. People can shoot this without like even being able to see you anymore, right? This just comes down to the fact that like you're not willing to take down your shield early enough. Right, now you take it down, but now like you're 2 seconds away building your next shield, and you can potentially take a lot of damage in this time, right? Okay, there you go. Bubble, that's all you're waiting for. You should just flex right now, because as soon as you see that bubble, that's a sign that you should flex. Because one of the biggest counters to flex is bubble, right? So if you see the person that you want to flex, and he got bubble, then you just wait out the bubble and then you flex. Or even just like flex as soon as you see the bubble, because you can wait it out while you're starting the animation. Right, this is a great flex, right? Even if the Zarya has bubble, because you'll probably kill this monkey, and that's probably good enough. You might even kill the Mercy, right? You know, either way, whoever you pick now can die because there's no bubble, right? Just not the Zarya, because she probably has it, but either these other two people, you can just pick and kill them at your own leisure. Feature. I don't know. Now you're getting ulted. Yeah. Again, because you're not proactive enough with that. This is what causes this, right? If you're just a little bit earlier, right? This wouldn't happen. Also, if you're on high ground, it also wouldn't happen. Just saying. Just putting it out there. Oh, please don't do this. You're gonna waste your shield again. Okay, never mind. Running. Nice. Oh, no! Don't try to cross in front of them!
Activating the
Oh my
barrier.
god. Wasting your shield now. Like, again, like, not shielding you. You can't even see anyone in the enemy team. You're down 150 shield, right? Please take your shield down faster. Or don't put it up in the first place, right? That's 250 shield. 30, I guess. Wow, that actually worked. you should shield him. So this is a case where your teammate is about to die, right, or taking damage, right? So put the shield in front of him, protect him, make sure nothing random happens to him, right? And as soon as he gets behind cover, then you drop it, right? That's how you gotta think. Right now, right, there's a Zarya roasting your Roadhog, right, and you're pushing her, right? Because you're pushing her, then you push the shield out in front of your Roadhog, and then walk into the Zarya and kill her, right? You're letting the Zarya farm for free, right? She got at least 20% ult out of that. She's getting more. Shield this? Just throw the shield at her. So again, so let me give you some fundamental like ways about thinking about your shield, so you can start diagnosing this stuff on your own when it happens in game. So for Sigma shield, right, it's a weak shield, right, but it's infinitely deployable, right. So you want to emphasize using it in situations where either you are getting value out of it or your team is getting value out of it. So what determines value, right? What is value on your shield? So value on your shield is like situations where like you're trading shield HP for like tangible things like pressure, damage, attention, right? So if you're up here, right, as just like an example, right? If you're up here and the enemy team walks in, right, and you've got a guy up here and you're sitting up here and you've got a guy up here, right, and then you guys all start shooting at this guy together, and this guy like panics and starts backing up and shooting at you, and you put up a shield. That's trading shield health for pressure, right? In this case, like it's kind of hard for your team. It might be hard for your Honor to heal you or something. Maybe she's like playing over here for some reason, right? And so she can heal this guy. She can maybe heal the guy above, right? But she can't really heal you. But in this case, the shield would both like prevent you from taking pressure, right? And you'd be trading shield health for a lot of damage as opposed to taking your normal health, right? So for timing a shield, you want to time the shield from when your team can do things, right? So if this guy walks out here and he starts shooting you, and he can't get shot from anywhere else, right? Just say there's no one up here, for example. Just take this guy out like he died or something, killed him. And you've got a guy up here, and you've got a guy up here, right? This is you. This guy walks out underneath, and he starts shooting you, right? Then you don't want to burn shield for that because, first of all, you can't shoot him from here. That's too far away, right? And second, this guy can't shoot this guy either because he's underneath him, right? So instead, you would back up, and you'd wait for that guy to walk in, right? Until this guy really starts shooting, to be honest. And then you'd walk out, put shield, and now this guy's to deal with a crossfire, two ways. And he can't shoot at you safely anymore because you have a shield now, right? So that's what you like the logic, right? Like if you think about it, like you want to wait until this guy can get involved before you start using your shield HP, right? Even if you can shoot that guy, right? So this is kind of like the mentality that goes to our scrims as well, right? You don't want to waste shield until your ball and tracer are doing something, right? And then that's when you commit your shield and like start using it, right? And there's obviously a balance here. Don't be like insane with that. You're definitely overusing it, like for yourself for no reason, right? And then you'll back up and not take it down, right? And then you won't use it at all for your teammates, right? So like your Roadhog was pushing, your McCree was dying, you didn't shield them. Your Roadhog was pushing, didn't shield them. McCree was pushing and dying, and you didn't shield them, right? You didn't use your shield at all after you dropped in right here, right? Again, you gotta be more. Sorry, over here. Or no, I think you used it over here. That or a different fight. I don't remember. But the point is like you gotta be more like thoughtful with your shield. And like this, you can self-review this. So you can like it's okay to be wrong in these situations in terms of like unlike opinions and stuff like that. But like you need to put thought into this, right? Like thought into like how I'm using my shields, how like I can use my shield better, right? Should I drop my shield earlier? Should I not use my shield at all, right? Did I need to shield that, right? Or should I have shield that, regardless of need? What would happen if I didn't shield, right? And just consider these things, and then like try to make your own conclusions. And if you're not sure, right, you come to me and you ask me, right? But like right now, you're not thinking about your shield at all, and I can tell, right? You're barely thinking about it. You're just kind of like, oh, I can take some damage on my shield, right? And then you walk away, and you're like, okay, I'm not taking any more damage. Let me drop my shield now, right? And that's like at the extent of it, as far as I can tell. So you gotta put more thought into it. I don't know how much we're gonna be running more Sig in the future, but like, it's really, really important. Also, take high ground. Please take high ground. High ground's so important for Sig, and for every off tank, but especially Sig. Not even especially Sig, all off tanks. For all characters in general, high ground is really important. Just Sig is one of the best characters at taking and holding it, because almost no one can challenge him 1v1 on these angles, right? If you walk out here, it doesn't matter what character this is right here, no one can beat you here, right? If they're standing here, and you're standing here as Sigma, and you put up a shield, you win the fight, right? So it's really, really important to keep that in mind. Yeah, so if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please let me know. And if you get to this part of the video, please DM me what 4 + 5 equals.